So like my college experience has definitely helped me like network with people and filter my ideas. But then again, college and university classes have no requirement on you need to start a business. Like one of the classes does because you get graded on it. But like other than that, like no one's telling you to be an entrepreneur at university. But I would say the business school is actually just like, go get a corporate job.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Ecom Life. My name is John Sanders, and today we're joined by an awesome guest. His name's Tate Zwahlen. And do you know that person that always has that crazy idea? Well, that's Tate. He's always been creative and innovative, student, entrepreneur, and employee. Currently, he's studying marketing and entrepreneurship at Utah State, and he's incredibly enthusiastic about entrepreneurship and small businesses. So, Tate, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
That's so awesome, man. Well, before we get into it, I didn't ask you this beforehand. Give me a little background, like where are you from?
Right.
Where'd you grow up? And
Yeah, so I grew up in Centerville, Utah, my whole life. Parents have lived in the same house the last like 30 years, right? High school there, then Mission, Dominican Republic, and then straight up to Utah State. That's where I've been for the last 4 years. I'll be finishing my marketing degree and then minor in entrepreneurship in December. It's kind of like the basis, I guess, of my life.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you went real fast there, but yeah, I mean, you just, that's it, right? You're at Utah State.
Yeah.
And my question for you is like, what has intrigued you about entrepreneurship? Because I feel like a lot of people that go to school, they go to school for typically a job or to learn a skill to go into like being a doctor or whatever, but entrepreneurship is a little unique. And so what drew you to entrepreneurship?
So I just think entrepreneurship has always been exciting to me. I can remember like many instances as like from a child of figuring out how to make money and like realizing how exciting that is. Whether I was mowing lawns, lemonade stands, like selling toys or going to my neighbor and be like, can I pull your weeds? And you like pay me money for doing something that I think is literally like dumb and anybody could do this. And then, or like providing more value in creating a business where like you make a product. Like that's been exciting to me. People showing interest in something that you can do.
I know.
It's been really exciting to me. So that's kind of what's drawn me in is just the excitement of entrepreneurship and kind of the not knowing. Like you sometimes don't know where the next dollar is going to come from or like what the next thing that's going to go wrong, but you know it's going to go wrong.
Yeah.
And I love that.
You love that.
I love that. I did work in a job in Salt Lake for a summer, an internship at a desk every day. And I hated it. I hate looking at the computer all day.
Yeah.
So I think it's worth it to me to have the risk and variability of a job. Even though like, you might be, let's say you make the same amount as you would in another job, but I like the risk and the fun. I think it makes it fun.
Well,
I think it's exciting.
Then I think you'll do great in entrepreneurship. I'm smiling here as you're talking because like, for me, you hit on all the points, like not knowing when your next dollar comes. That's a real thing, not knowing what the markets are going to do, just that. But some people thrive in that, in that environment. And a lot of people don't want that. They want the security of a job, which is great. I think it's not a knock on people that have jobs. I think some people are just built differently. What do you think made you different that way? Is it just it sounds like you were like that as a kid, but is there a particular reason why you're drawn to that kind of excitement?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I like looking back, I think it was always kind of rambunctious and energetic and exciting as growing up a teen. And I think that just easily translate into entrepreneurship easier than like corporate where you kind of have to get, pushed into molds of like, you need to be this.
Yep.
Where entrepreneurship is more like, you have to be this.
Yep.
Like everything rather than it's like, there's no defined walls in entrepreneurship where it's like, no, one day you're going to be, cooking the food. The next day you're going to be doing the books. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. And I can't really pinpoint that on like a specific experience in my life rather than just like, I've found joy throughout my life of like randomness and different possibilities and being able to do kind of whatever I want.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit here. Okay. It's not on, some of the stuff we were going to discuss, but what I'm curious about is because entrepreneurship, especially in the digital age, changes so much. What has been the most valuable thing that you've learned about entrepreneurship, studying entrepreneurship in college? Has that helped you? If so, like how has that helped you?
Oh yeah. So luckily there's a legit program at Utah State for entrepreneurship that, you know, like there's 4 courses that go through the minor, and they're like marketing, financing, execution, which is essentially just like start and do something, and then creation, which is kind of like filtering out your bad ideas. And those and other classes and clubs within the university have been great. You know, they kind of teach you like what the real world of like dream big, but also like filter your dreams to be realistic. They have like a model that's called the NERCOM model, which is an acronym. And the N in NERCOM stands for need. And that, like, I remember going into that first class and like having like a list of like, all these ideas that are like, these are amazing ideas. And then it's like, okay, are these ideas that the world needs or that are solving a problem in the world? And I instantly am like, oh crap. No, people don't need my mashed potato tubes that look like yogurt. I'm like, crap. But like really, like, so lots of the university courses have been able to help me filter out like unrealistic, not necessarily bad, but unrealistic ideas.
Like filter the ideas that probably won't work.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like kind of, because they have all these like very experienced entrepreneurs that are now professors teaching these courses. So like it's allowed me to filter things. So like my college experience has definitely helped me like network with people and filter my ideas. But then again, college and university classes have no requirement on you need to start a business. Like one of the classes does because you get graded on it. But like other than that, like no one's telling you to be an entrepreneur at university. I would say the business school is actually just like, go get a corporate job.
Exactly.
Which is like something, it's a little beef I actually have with the business school because they like have all these.
We start something here.
Go work corporate. I'm like, no, go start a business.
Well, yeah, that's why I was curious, because I feel like that's kind of the direction, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you know, obviously we need to put food on the table, but I was just curious how that paradigm is there, because it does seem more like universities are trying to push you more into getting a job versus creating a job or a business. So
no, yeah, I do think the entrepreneurship side is a little still underway, like growing. Currently, it's like, I think it's in top 5 minors at USU, and it's the number 1 minor within the business school. But even then, like people love the courses. Like really people, like I've never heard people love a minor in classes so much, but it's not very much. Like 4 classes is something you finish like quite quickly with your college experience. So you kind of get drowned out by like, oh, actually you should be doing this. And then, but there are so many entrepreneurs at school that are like hidden, they're flying under the radar. And then you hear about them 2 years later after they've made crumble cookies. Everyone, crumble came out of Logan.
Utah State. Yeah, they started at Utah State as a project, right?
Yeah. If I remember right, Sawyer like ran for student body president, and I think he lost. And he's kind of like, he went from that, and it's like, okay, I'm going to start this cookie company, and then boom. And Crispy Cones, that was just on Shark Tank a few nights ago.
I saw that. Yeah.
They're USU.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, I saw him post on LinkedIn that they were on Shark Tank. They got a deal, actually.
Yeah, they got a deal. He's
That's
USU
awesome.
as well.
Oh, really?
And then there's a few in the Valley still. Like there's Danique Notebooks.
Yeah, we know those guys over there.
Tyler's awesome. Like Danique's really cool. Like, and there's people still doing that. Like there's people that are going to be, the next Crumble or the next Danique that are like at USU right now.
That's awesome, man.
It's pretty fun.
That's really cool. So you are on your own journey now with entrepreneurship. I know you've done a few things. Can you tell us a little bit about where you are now, what you've done?
Yeah,
go.
So after like my first semester of school, I've taken some of those entrepreneurship classes. It was COVID. So like I finished my first year of school, and then it was like COVID summer, where it's like just everything's shutting down. And this is where like I think luck played into my entrepreneurship journey too, is I had a buddy that was starting a business selling art and like very unique art. And he's like, hey, I need somebody to make picture frames. And I'm like, I have no idea how to make picture frames, dude. But I'm like, I'm going to figure it out. So I figured out how to make picture frames. And in my like parents' basement, they have like not even a wood shop. We have like a miter saw, like a chop saw, and a few tools. I'm like, we can turn this into a wood shop. And so I ended up hiring a buddy, and we made picture frames all summer long. And like, I think the business like grossed like $40,000 in the summer, just making picture frames. And just like, there was luck because like not everyone has a friend that just needs tons of picture frames. But we kind of just took a chance on it, and we're like, okay, let's make some picture frames. So that was a few years ago.
That's really cool. Let me just interject real quick. I love what you said there. most people would have made the excuse like, I don't have a wood shop, so sorry, man, I really can't help you. But one of the signs of a great entrepreneur is being resourceful. And I believe that what you did was super resourceful, and that's going to serve you really well. And anyone that's trying to start a business, you have to be resourceful. Some people think that, money is the answer, or having the right equipment sometimes. Right. But as an entrepreneur, I guess maybe that's the fun in it, is you try to figure out ways of doing it,
No, totally. Yeah. Like we made it work, and I think we produced a quality product. Like,
were you selling on Etsy or?
So like 99.9% of all the frames we made went back to that guy that was doing art, because he just blew up during COVID, and he needed as much as we could get.
Okay. So you guys weren't selling to the public. You were selling the frames to him.
Straight back to him.
Okay. Gotcha. That's really cool. That's amazing. So you did the picture frames. Any other ventures that you've been working on?
So we did the picture frames, and then come back to school, and there's one of the business classes is called New Venture Execution. And within this class, you're like required to sell. You're graded. Like every 2 weeks, you have to double your sales. So
I like this.
So I started a t-shirt company.
Okay.
Which uses print on demand.
Hey.
And I called it Z's. I'm like, my last name starts with a Z. That sounds cool. Long story short, I was registering a domain, and Z's was obviously not available because it's very generic.
Yeah.
But okay, I guess I'll go back. I was taking film photography, like 35 millimeter slides.
Yeah.
Like from vintage photos, like from slides that I'd find at stores. And would scan them and put them on shirts, print on demand. Like I wasn't printing them, I'd upload the art, and then if they wanted a shirt, they click on it, through Shopify and Shopify and all those.
Yeah.
You get a shirt printed. And so I was taking 35 millimeter film, scanning it, applying it to my website, choose whatever shirt you want. And then when you get the shirt, it'll just be a one of a kind. So when you get it, I'll send you the slide that it was originally from.
Oh, that's an interesting.
So I am wearing one.
All right, let's see it. So show the camera over there.
Who knows what this picture is? It looks like a wedding from the 70s.
What is that?
It's pretty old too. So like this shirt is worn well. Like I think this shirt is over a year old now. There's like some cool cars. Who knows? And I have the slide for this somewhere in my room.
That's fun. So where are you getting these slides at?
So you can I first found vintage slides at like antique stores. Like they'll just have like a bucket of vintage slides, and I'll like totally just grab all of them.
Really?
Like the ones that like I think, okay, somebody might like this. Get like I don't want the other ones. And then like you buy the whole slide for like, I don't know. I think the most expensive slide I bought was like 75 cents.
Wow.
And then I'll scan them like on this old rink-a-dink scanner I have at my parents' house. And then I have this digital format that's now usable. So I did that for that class. And that was fun. That was really fun to work with. And I have like a vision for it. And it's kind of on pause a little bit right now, because like getting sales on very niche art is not one of my skills. But it's a fun project that I worked on. So that's kind of what I've done. One of the more recent ones.
That's really cool. Let me ask you some more about that. Is it you currently doing it right now?
So right now it's like completely paused. If you went to my website, you can see my website, but the Shopify is like literally paused. So no sale transaction would go through.
So how are you getting sales for this? What was your marketing strategy?
So during the class, like the word of mouth, like was obviously like, if I tell somebody about it and they seemed interested about it, I could push, hey, like you should get one. Like they're not like that expensive. I'm selling them for like $20. And then that was like it, like people, since they knew me, thought it was cool, they'd be like, okay, I'm going to get one. And then I ended up trying ads for the first time.
What kind of ads?
Facebook.
Oh, okay.
And
how'd that go?
Not good. Because I was a newbie. Never had I ever done ads before. Like, okay, I got some cool art. I think this is my demographic. I'm trying to focus on this. And then like I messed it all up, and all these 65-year-old ladies were seeing my ad, which, it tells you who's seeing your ad.
Yeah.
Women, and it's like 65 plus. What the heck? What? And that was my fault, like not knowing how to run ads. So I kind of like put a little baby bit of money, probably less than $50 into ads.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of where I stopped with ads.
Okay.
But like,
I'd be interested to see your ads manager, see what kind of click-through rates and stuff you're getting to. Which, by the way, here's a plug for goquadra.com. We actually teach you how to run ads so you don't, mess up like Tate.
You don't have grandmas looking at your hipster shirts.
No. That's, dude, I actually really love your idea. Were you just doing t-shirts?
Yeah. So I ended up selling a few like crew necks.
Did you do like any, besides apparel, do you do like mugs or anything?
Just apparel. But I was
interesting. Okay. And so you were obviously the print on demand company would ship the shirt, and then you would just ship the slide separately.
Yeah.
Is that what you were doing, or?
Yeah. So some of the people just ended up wanting shirts, I believe. Like, so I just like, okay, like whatever. But there's a few that So like, okay, when you buy the shirt, I'm going to be sending you the slide. That was something I kind of slid in as like for fun. Let's see how this goes.
And how did that go? Did a lot of people take it, or were you upselling it, or no?
Not as much as I should. Everybody, like the professors are like, you should be selling this for like a lot if it's like one of the kind unique with the slide. And I was kind of like, I kind of just want to get sales right now.
Yeah, I just want to pass a class.
I want to see if people care even to buy a $20 shirt.
So do you mind me asking how many shirts did you sell?
Ooh, I don't have like a solid number, but it's between 20 and 30.
Okay.
So pretty low, just like within that time period of that class that I'm selling them really.
Yeah. So I don't know if you know this, but my background is in t-shirt sales. That's how I got started in this business. And I actually think that's a really cool angle. I think, and it's just giving advice that, I mean, who knows, maybe someone will watch this and pick up the idea now. I don't know. But I think that, I think if you'd have sold on Etsy, you probably would have sold a ton of them. I don't know if that was even on your radar at the time, or
not really. This is definitely a project that I've put on pause for a reason. Like, but like I want to.
Do you want to get back up?
Totally.
Dude, then you should. Okay, so yeah, we should talk and
definitely
and see what we can do for you. Because I mean, I see that more of like an Etsy play, and it's got built-in traffic. And anyway, I don't want to do a whole tutorial here, but really, I think the idea is really good. And so, tell me again, how did you come up with the idea for this business in the first place?
Yeah, so long time ago, I was probably 15. I like found my dad's film camera, and I was like, that's cool. Like, I don't know why I was drawn towards it, because digital is like way easier and way cheaper. But I think it's the way that film looks that like kind of draws me. Like, oh, like has like a old vintage look to it.
Yeah,
I really enjoy. And so I just got deep into like film cameras and got a bunch of film cameras.
Oh, cool.
And then I ended up starting making t-shirts in high school. And then I think post high school, I'm like,
where were you making t-shirts?
Like screen printing.
Oh, screen printing.
Yeah, buddy had a screen printer, and I like.
Oh, really?
Like
That's cool.
Like we made the logos. Like my buddy's dad made logos for us, and we'd screen print these like pretty crappy shirts. Well, actually, I think they're pretty cool. But and then after, I think I like, why don't I morph this? Like, there's got to be a way to print like digital images onto shirts, which make print on demand is perfect for this. Because I'll just do like direct to garment, right? Printing, which turns out pretty well.
Yeah,
and even like after a year, looks okay.
Yeah, for real. The technology's gotten really good for sure.
Right. So I was just like, I just morphed my two hobbies of,
that's really, really cool.
More so my photography. I really like that. And then I was like, okay, like t-shirt was fun. Like I enjoyed making something I can wear and kind of show off. Like, hey, look at this cool t-shirt I made, or this cool photo I found.
Yeah,
and
that's sick, man. I really like it. I wonder how it would play on a Christmas ornament. That might be kind of cool. Yeah. So Quadra, we got Christmas ornaments. You go check that out. But yeah, that's really, really cool, man. Yeah, I think you should pick it up. I think you could do really well with it. That's a fantastic idea. So moving on. So you started this t-shirt company. I know you're part of the SEED program at USU. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah.
Kind of your experience there?
So SEED's another acronym, lots of acronyms. It stands for Small Enterprise Education and Development. So it's run through USU, but it's also open to all universities. But since it's run through USU, mostly USU students do it.
Yeah.
And it's an international program. So they'll send you to a country, one like Ghana, Philippines, Dominican Republic, Peru, and they have people in Mexico and now Cambodia. And you'll go teach small business classes to like groups. They have in-country partners. There's a partner company called Mentors International that like kind of have a foundation of clients, and then they'll like utilize your time and be like, okay, like we need you to go teach this class, or we need you to go teach Maria on Thursday. And so cool. It's full time for the whole semester. I didn't take any classes. You can take classes like online while you're there, but I just did full SEED. So I was in Peru.
Wow.
In Tarapoto, Peru. And then for 3 weeks, they needed me to go to the DR because some interns ended up leaving. And they needed people to be there for a few weeks. So I ended up going to the DR for a few weeks and then back to Peru.
Okay, cool. So let's go back to your experience in Peru. Was there an experience while working with the people that kind of stuck out to you? Like you're like, wow, this is amazing, or where you maybe had an impact? Can you think of a story like that?
Yeah, it's something that was common, I guess, among everybody in Peru, and also the DR is like, I know that entrepreneurship can be seen as a hobby to lots of people, but lots of people, this is their life. Like this is their income, and like it varies completely. We helped one family that sells bricks. They're like family businesses selling bricks. And we helped them get onto Google, which like very easy, but not something they would like necessarily were just going to do on their own.
Yeah.
So like we did that and it ended up like getting traffic, you know, like, okay, people are now they're on Google Maps. So when people look up bricks in their town, like, okay, they're going to get found. And then there's other people that are like making little trinkets where we're kind of like, how are they surviving? Like nobody's buying this thing. And then we teach like large university classes because there's a university. And then same in the DR though, like it like translated very well into the Dominican Republic is like a huge variety of entrepreneurs that are all just doing it to, you know, live.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, you know, my background is I'm actually half Brazilian, so I lived in Brazil when I was a kid, and every time I go back to Brazil, I'm just, you know, just so impressed with their entrepreneurial spirit. I'm sure you felt that too in these other Latin American countries. But yeah, I mean, did you never like ran into someone that really caught the fire, like an entrepreneur fire down there?
It seemed like lots of them had
already had it or
had experiences with it, because lots of people were very enthusiastic about their businesses, but you know, it doesn't always go their way. So you also find them at their low points. Yeah. If it is like, they don't know what to do next. They're like, they think they're trying their best and nothing's working. So you definitely get a mix of everybody, but it seems like everybody's caught the same feeling that's kind of universal. Like, this is exciting. Yeah. Because like they're all selling these things and getting paid for it. And that, I think they found that exciting. Like, like I make bricks, but people buy them from me, other people. Like that's cool? Exciting. Like, why are people choosing me? It's kind of like, you know,
it is, it's really, really exciting. So what did you learn from that experience, being involved in the seed program and, you know, seeing people's lives change to entrepreneurship? What impact did it have on you?
Yeah. At first I recognized like the blessing of being in the United States and like having so many resources and like common knowledge that, you know, like I know how to use, like Google is not foreign to me, or Facebook ads, or like all these super important tools for entrepreneurship are not foreign to me. Whereas to them, it's like their skill set might have only gotten up to, you know, like junior high. And then they're like, okay, I'm going to start running this business. So I recognize like it's a huge blessing. And like, if they're able to find success in, you know, in their situation, most definitely I should be able to find that success in the United States. Right. And then I think just like it kind of reassures me to like have like faith that like I can do it, because they're finding faith and finding their passion. Really, like their life might not get tons better, but like I think the growth that you can experience in the US is like way exponential, because like you have like this huge market. You can, you know, you can sell your product, especially like on e-commerce, to anyone in the United States. Whereas they kind of are like localized, but I'm like, I have this huge market. I have like 300 plus million people I could potentially sell to.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so cool that you're able to do that. Okay, so have we covered all your ventures so far?
There's one more.
Okay, let's hear it.
This is new and this one's tricky. All
right, let's hear it. Maybe we can help you out with it. Let's go.
Please. So my brother-in-law, he takes these old vintage skis.
You like the vintage stuff?
Oh, I love the vintage stuff. I love the vintage stuff. So he takes these old vintage skis, like 80s vibes, right? And chops them up and welds them into picture frames, like large.
Ooh, that's cool.
Large. I have one in my house up here in Logan. It's big. These aren't small, but he also makes, you know, small ones. And I'm like, we can sell these.
Oh yeah. Those are awesome.
So this is where I think I got better at doing ads. So this is very new also. I started running ads like a few months ago, and then
Facebook ads. Okay.
And then I stopped because I just still need to figure out how to do this. But yeah, essentially I call it Utah Ski Frames.
That's actually, is it, you have that domain?
No, not, well, I mean, that's my Facebook and Instagrams, but like no domain yet. Because I was like, I'm going to run some ads and see what people say.
Is it on Shopify? Is that where you're selling them?
No, this is just like a
marketplace. Oh, geez.
DM us. And
you guys are really like just testing the market.
Yeah, this is like, I wanted to see if anyone even cared.
Okay. So are your ads, did you do like messenger ads then? Is that
exactly? Yeah. Okay. Like when it asks you like, what do you want from this? I'm like, I want people to message me.
Okay. And so tell us the results. What were people saying?
So I definitely started getting feedback. People were asking, because what I'm saying on it is like, other than like the like cliche, like, oh, this is a cool product. And like, okay, message us for pricing. And so we got a decent amount of feedback.
Really?
Like, people were interested. No one ended up buying anything.
Well, you probably didn't have a place for them to buy it.
Right. Well, I was telling them like I would deliver it to them. I was like, we will sell it to you and deliver it to you.
But how are you going to take the payment?
Yeah, that would have to have been like in person and Venmo or something.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably your obstacle there.
Right. Yeah. This was like totally just like, I just want to see
just trying to figure out the market. That's really smart, actually.
And I think I didn't spend like $140 on ads. Mm-hmm. And I think it went really well. Like people were commenting, like tagging their friends, like, hey, I think you'd like this. Mm-hmm. And people were asking, how much are these? You know, like, and we got a decent interest. And then I don't know, I kind of maybe too expensive because I wasn't going to sell these for $50. They're large and expensive and hard to make.
Yeah. Well, we can dig into, I don't know how much, but like what you might share what your overhead is on that, or?
Yeah. So I think he's telling me it's about $50 to make one.
Oh, okay.
But I was telling people $200.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're gonna have to go at least $150 to $200.
Right.
And listen, I think Facebook ads would still play really well with that. Obviously, I think that was really cool that you went out there and tried to find the audience and ask them for feedback. But yeah, I think if you were to set up a little Shopify store, which by the way, Shopify has a starter plan. I don't know if you knew this. It's like $5 a month, actually. Yeah. Which you can just use for this kind of thing. For influencers, will use it for just easy transactions. Anyway, I think that one has actually really good legs. I would personally try to sell them on Etsy as well. I don't know if you've looked at that, but
yeah, I mean, definitely looking on Etsy, like no one's doing like this exact thing. Like you can find similar-ish, but smaller.
Yeah,
it's, I don't know. Maybe I should do some more digging, but like no one's doing it.
I just think, I think you do. Again, just learning how to do some SEO on Etsy and just running some ads. I bet you anything you could sell a ton of them.
Yeah, I would really love to hop back on that. So like he can make a bunch. Like winter's kind of ending, but like we can.
It doesn't matter,
right? We can still find out how to sell them. So people
you can do water skis.
Yeah, totally. Like serious. Like.
No, it's. I think that's a very, very cool product. So how long you guys been doing that?
Like a few months. Like he gave me one for Christmas, and that's what I used for the ad. I took a picture of the one he gave me.
Yeah.
And if someone would have bought it, I would have sold my Christmas gift he gave me. And then
true entrepreneur.
And then I would have been like, but here's $100.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, we sold one.
Well, it's proof of concept. Right? Oh, there you go.
Yeah, we proved it.
Have you tried TikTok with this too?
No.
I bet TikTok. Organic TikTok, you just make and then you just showcase, maybe you show someone skiing and then you take a picture of it and then they show it. I bet you anything. I bet you could get some really cool viral stuff out of it.
Right. And actually, he just made one for my dad that has a picture of my grandparents in it. So it's like a picture of my grandparents skiing made out of this frame of vintage skis. There's like so many angles. I'm like, okay, we're going to figure out how to make this work.
Dude. So I'm sorry if I'm just like giving you all this advice on a pod. I'm just having a conversation with you. But just one more thing that I thought of that might be cool for you to do too is just go to some ski influencers, see what their best performing picture, take a picture, make it in a frame, send it to them.
Yeah. I
bet you anything you get some, you get a lot of people, a lot of eyeballs because they probably share it and
totally,
so anyway, I think this got a lot of potential and, I always like those niche, products like that because it makes it easy to target who you want to buy. So man, you got your hands on a lot of different pots. Is that do you have anything else, any other ones?
Oh, nothing that I'm like,
or any ideas? You have
gosh,
let's hear some of your crazy ideas.
Oh, what's a good
ones that you're willing to put out there, right?
Sure, yeah. So I enjoy 3D printing.
Okay.
And I've gotten into like puzzles. Like those little, those little cube puzzles where you'll dump it out and there's like all these random pieces and you have to figure out how to turn it back into a cube.
Yeah.
So I figured out how to design those and with the design, I can spell people's names.
Oh,
so I was like, this is an Etsy idea, I think as well.
Oh, for sure.
But I was like, I could sell these as like birthday things where it's like, you kind of have like, you have a 3x3 cube and you can spell letters and numbers with 3x3. So it's like, I could sell like birthday cubes where they like buy one and then I personalize, okay, who's it for? So like, how are they turning? Oh, it's my friend Amy that's turning 23. It's like, okay. So I make a 2 and a 3, not like, it's made out of multiple pieces. So it's not obvious it's a 2 and a 3. Like you have to put it into a 3. But then I design it in a way so it all fits together.
Yeah.
And then you can put it in a cube.
Oh, that's really cool.
Puzzle.
I think that's really cool.
I haven't done anything with that, but I have made one for somebody and I gave it to them.
And did they liked it?
Loved it.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's pretty unique. It's like, oh, cool. It's like my initial, it had a heart in it. It had like, the last one I made, it said USU. Like with the pieces, you could spell out USU.
Nice.
And then her initial.
Cool. That's a cool idea. Any others that you want to put out there?
What's another one that I want to do? I really want somebody to make a sticker business at USU.
A what?
A sticker business, like where you subscribe and like every other week you get a customized sticker for USU that maybe is kind of relevant to that time period at USU.
Oh, that's cool. Like a winter one or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really cool.
I'm hard to see it all for that one though.
I know.
I would definitely bring somebody in on that one.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know how that goes. I'm definitely not artsy, but I've been very successful in print on demand, and it just takes talking to people, partnering up with people on that. Well, that's really cool. So you're working on those businesses. Let's see. Now, we did have something different we were going to do here. And Jared was telling me you wanted to turn the tables a little bit, maybe ask me a couple questions.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, you have it?
I brought my little pirate pad with
nice.
questions.
All right, let's do it.
He's like, you can ask him some questions. Like, sweet.
All right, let's go.
Okay, so my first question, like, we both have this background. I mean, you way more than me on like print on demand. Like mine is like this compared to yours of like this barrel, right? But it's very like nobody like in the business school. Like, why are not people taking advantage of this? That's not my question. My question is like, my question is how could like. I kind of am a part of some clubs and organizations within the business school that could like, or at least the entrepreneurship club, right? That's what I'm mostly involved with. Like, how could we help influence people to like consider it? Because like most people don't really, lots of people don't know what print on demand means, and lots of people don't see it as an opportunity for entrepreneurship. When in reality, like it's huge, right?
It's amazing. Like I'm so passionate. I'm glad you asked it because I'm super passionate about it. It's not just at school. Most people, I would say most people in business don't know it. Like I talk to companies all the time that, I spoke to a company that does phone cases, a few months back, and they literally will spend $500,000 in inventory to bring it over. Then, they'll have it all printed up and ready to go without any sales. And to me, that's super inefficient. Like that's what's so cool about print on demand. It eliminates the upfront risk of inventory.
Yeah.
And so as far as, how do we get that out there to schools? We've actually kind of discussed this internally, is just having like an ambassador program at the schools, at the entrepreneurship schools, where people learn about print on demand and how to do it. And so I think the first step would be to, get some people that are involved in the schools as ambassadors and talking about it. Because I think you're right. If people realize the power that you have in print on demand and the way it makes it so easy to start a business, I think a lot more people your age especially would jump on it. So
no, totally. Because I remember seeing on your website as well, it's like as little as 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And like obviously people have more time to spend on it sometimes, but like I bet most people have at least 2 hours that take away from this time that you're doing nothing and add it to this, and boom, you could be making, I don't know, enough to pay for your college, enough to like really when you're out of college, you're like, I don't need to go get this job. I'm going to work on this more.
No, I totally agree with you. And in fact, it's just making it a priority. So, when I started my journey on print on demand, just to give you some perspective, I had a full-time corporate job, 4 kids, just married, the whole thing. And I was busy, probably a lot busier than a college kid.
Right.
Maybe, I don't know, who knows? But my point is if someone in that situation can find time, anyone can find time. And it's just a matter, again, of just making it a priority. Yeah. But I also think it's a belief system, the belief that you can do it. Because once you have that belief, there's no excuses. You'll find a way to make it happen.
Right.
So
no, I totally agree with that. Yeah. I think once people recognize it as an opportunity, people will totally start doing it. Right.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
One of my other questions relates, I'll have to word this right, because I looked back into your past and I found Social Lab.
Yeah.
And I looked a little into Social Lab. But so just taking from that and now into ads. So obviously I told you how I did some Facebook ads and I was a complete idiot when I did them. And like literally,
Yeah, at least you tried. I got to tell you, that's cool that you did that.
so what's the friendliest, cost effective, like what's the best way to not come into Facebook ads and lose a ton of money, but also still learn? And it's okay if you lose a little money, but like, what's the best way for somebody? Well, I would like to learn this.
Yeah, honestly, here's where I've landed on this, because I think Facebook's changed a lot since I started. When I started, it was, I feel a lot easier to, get conversions off cold traffic on Facebook. What I would say and recommend is the path that we're starting to teach now in Quadra, is get the products up, put them in Etsy, see if they sell on Etsy, and then, because it's already proof of concept, and then run ads to them. Because that way, you already have a winning product. You already know that you have a product that's winning on Etsy. So the chances of it winning on Facebook, especially if it's a niche product, something like skiing or dog or something that's highly targetable, if you're seeing that move on Etsy, chances are it's also going to move. It can move on Facebook, and then if it has good targeting, so that eliminates a lot of the risk, is you already have proof of concept. I would say the other thing too, and this is something that we teach in our trainings, is I would do research on, again, Etsy, and see what products are selling. Like, it's not so much product, but the messages that are selling. And there's a way to do that. If you go to our TikTok channel, we did a mini tutorial on how to do that. But I would go and review the winning messages or products on Etsy, because again, proof of concept. Tweak them a little, maybe change the wording a little bit, and put them on a different product. So for instance, if I see a product on a t-shirt and I see that it's doing really well, and I see that the message is resonating, maybe I put it on a mug or an ornament or something like that, and then do it.
Yeah.
So I think eliminating that risk, there's never eliminating any, whenever you do paid ads, there's risk, and you're going to pay for data. That's what I call it. But you can shortcut your success by already leveraging products that are already selling in your catalog, and then also seeing what's selling out in the marketplace and putting them on other products. So
cool. No, yeah, I think that's really cool, because like I definitely jumped into the boat. Like I'm going to lose money. Let's see what happens.
And there's nothing wrong with that too. I actually admire that. I mean, people, you at least took action. I mean, I honestly, I would also recommend that you invest in some training on how to do that, because Facebook ads specifically, because if you learn how to do it efficiently, then again, that just shortcuts your success. But I totally admire that you did that. I think that's amazing. So kudos to you. Most people don't even take that step. So
no, I think I won a gift card in an entrepreneurship competition. So it might be $100 down the drain, but
hey, you got a gift card, right?
I learned something.
And you learn what not to do. And I know that doesn't sound great when you're losing money, but the truth is like, anytime paid ads, you're the way I look for it, you're either winning or you're learning. You're not failing, because you always can learn from the data you're getting.
Right.
At least that's what I try to do. You're buying data. So
yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Yeah. I definitely learned how to not target 65-year-old women.
No, I got you.
The third question, my last question I wrote down was like, so like we have a similar background in like, you were a student once upon a time too.
I was.
And so like, I'm not going to ask you like, if you could go back, but I am going to ask you of like, what things do you see out in the business world and e-commerce world that you'd like recommend to an entrepreneur? Like, hey, pay attention to this, and maybe take advantage of, like, maybe not necessarily trends, but like, okay, yeah, trends, things that are going on. Like, hey, pay attention to this. Like, this could help you be successful.
Yeah, there's a couple of things that I'm seeing out there that are huge trends, and I think this is a trend across business and actually just our culture in general, is leveraging the power of AI. And so e-commerce moving forward with either print on demand or regardless, leveraging tools like ChatGPT, DALL-E. I don't know if you're familiar with OpenAI, DALL-E.
Yes,
those tools are really going to help move the print on demand industry forward. And so I would be really paying attention to that and seeing those tools and how I can leverage those tools. We've done trainings where how to use ChatGPT to find winning or how to get winning product messages using ChatGPT, product descriptions. And so those tools are going to be super valuable at scale. And then also DALL-E with images, being able to create really unique image, like your shirt there. Yeah. You could probably create that with AI, totally. And so paying attention to AI and how you can use AI to solve problems within e-commerce, I think that's a huge opportunity for someone like you. Not only, on the product creation side, but just thinking outside the box, like what problems are these tools solving that haven't been solved that I can leverage? And if you can come up with something there, I think you could be wildly successful. So that's number one, leveraging AI. Just one other thing on AI. One of the things that makes you successful at print on demand is consistency in launching products. And we teach this, and one of the hard things about launching product is coming up with ideas every week. And so again, these tools just kind of help you with that, make it easier for you to do that. The second thing I would tell someone that's going into, e-commerce, print on demand, is to really think about what you're passionate about. Because the easiest way for you to be successful at something is if you like it first and are able to convey it to other people that like it. So, you said you're into photography and vintage stuff. So my question is, come up with products and ideas that you like, that that other people like. One of the mistakes a lot of people make is they try to jump into these niches that have no clue about and try to sell products to an audience that have no clue about. So start with what you love to do, find what it is that you love to do and leverage that in order to build a business. I think that would be the other advice I'd give to someone starting out. So
no, that's awesome. So totally, I agree with that. Like it's hard to sell something that you don't really care to sell, right?
Well, or you just don't know about, like, it's really hard to sell a horse product if you have no idea about what moves someone in the horse world. But if you know about, again, photography and it moves the needle there, chances are you're going to find something that will be successful.
Right.
If that makes sense.
No, totally. That makes complete sense. Thank you.
So are those all the questions?
Well, yeah, but I do I thought of
you okay?
So we have these common interests, but like, what would you say, what was like the secret sauce to, like, you kind of mentioned, like finding things you're passionate about, finding things you care about, but like, if you had like a secret sauce for entrepreneurship, I'm just like, e-commerce is a bubble of entrepreneurship, but like, what would you say has helped you be successful as an entrepreneur?
The one thing that came to mind, and it's the number one thing, is persistence and determination. Have you read Think and Grow Rich? I would read that book. Persistence is it. I mean, I've made up my mind that I'm not going to fail. When you have that mindset and you're persistent, no matter what, you will figure out a way to do it. Yeah. Because as an entrepreneur, innately, that's kind of your job, is to figure things out. And persistence is the one thing that I can look back on in my journey and say, yeah, that's the secret sauce. I wish there was like some software or like, some weird theory out there, but it's bottom line, it's just good old fashioned persistence. Right. Because if you persist enough, you keep going enough, things just will start opening up for you.
Yeah,
they just will. I mean, we're at a point here at Quadra where we've been fortunate enough to raise capital for our business. I had no clue. My business partners had no clue what that would entail. But going into it and just starting the process and being determined and persistent and going, I just started learning and opening up more and more to the point where now I know what it takes to do it. So that's the secret sauce. And, looking at, I feel like that's something that you have, I think that anyone that is passionate about entrepreneur that's going to succeed will have that one thing. And then that one thing is persistence. So
yeah. Cool.
Awesome. Well, listen, Tate, thank you so much. Do you have any other questions? I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh my God. Literally, I could ask, how you got to tell me when to stop. Okay. I could think of things all day.
Awesome.
One more question. And this will be a short question.
Okay.
Have you heard of how I built this?
Yeah.
So do you remember what he always asks at the end?
Yeah. Was it luck or?
Yeah. Like, how much was it? What ratio would you give in your entrepreneurial endeavors, like to luck and to your own like persistence? I mean, I'm expecting you a lot of it to be persistence, but like,
I'm laughing because I listen to that podcast all the time, and I always think about, well, how would I answer that if someone asked me? And no one's ever asked me that. So yeah, thank you. The one answer that I heard, I can't remember who the entrepreneur was, but the reality is, and you mentioned it earlier in your journey, the luck comes in that I was born in the U.S. Obviously I did live in Brazil when I was a kid and came back, but I was born here. grew up in a stable family. I grew up in a middle-class house. I think all those things I can't discount. Those things I was lucky to do that. And so I think there's part now, as far as like percentage wise, I don't know what that percentage wise was, but definitely a large part of it. I was lucky. I was lucky to be born in a circumstance where I could, be successful. I had an advantage over someone that was born maybe in Peru trying to sell bricks. Like I'm just lucky that way, And so in that way it's been luck, but luck only matters if you're able to capitalize on it and take advantage of the opportunity. I mean, I feel like anyone that lives here in the US, not anyone, obviously there's people that have different circumstances, but the vast majority of us here in the US have an opportunity, and it's up to us to do something with that luck that we've been given. Certainly. So yeah, I don't know if that gives you a percentage, but at least that's no,
it gives you an idea. Cause I feel like what's that quote? Like fortune favors the bold, but I think that the same thing works with luck. Like luck comes to those that are like trying.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm sure you've seen that where like, the more you try, like this isn't going to work, and then something works. You're like, okay,
yeah,
that's crazy.
I'm really glad you brought that up. It comes back to the whole persistence thing, because you're absolutely right. I mean, you do get lucky because you start making all these mistakes, and all of a sudden you have an aha moment. Oh, this is how you do it. You can call that luck, but you've essentially made that luck by being persistent and going and taking action. Right. Where I think a lot of people are more passive and they'll wait for a lucky break.
Right.
Where really most people that are successful make those breaks by taking action.
Totally.
So, yeah, man.
No, yeah. That's all I've got.
All right. Well, that was awesome. Thank you so much for this call. I'm not used to answering questions on the podcast, so that was great, Tate. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Do you have anything you want to plug? Do you want to plug your ski business?
Plug?
Yeah.
I mean, Utah ski frames, watch out. Get them while they're cheap.
Yeah.
Before we're famous.
Before they're $1,000, right?
Yeah, before they're $1,000 and we're endorsed by the whole world.
Uh-huh.
But I guess stay tuned. I've got some ideas in the works.
All right. Cool, man.
That's what will happen.
Well, thanks so much for coming on. And thank you for joining us today. Make sure you follow us on all our socials. We have the links in the description here. If you like this episode, give us a like, and also comment below and let us know about your entrepreneur journey. What have you found has worked for you, or what questions would you want answered for your journey as well? Just leave them in the comments. But for now, guys, we'll see you later. Thanks for joining us, and take care.
Thank you for listening to the Ecom Life Podcast. Ecom Life Podcast is produced by Quadra. Monetize your creativity with Quadra, an e-commerce platform created by sellers for sellers. To learn more, visit goquadra.com. We appreciate your time and hope today's episode has enriched your understanding of the online business world. If you enjoyed today's episode and would like to stay up to date with the latest trends, strategies, and success stories, please consider subscribing to the podcast and following us on social media at Ecom Life Podcast.